everybody, my name is Cheri. Welcome to my stamp studio, and if you're watching this the day that I post it, which is January 7th, it's not 7th yet in real world, but when it gets posted online, it should be January 7th, and that's the day that you can get, I keep saying the catalog kickoff, but there's so much more than just the catalog this time. So let me take just a second before we get going on today's project to tell you what's happening on January 7th. So let's end with this. So we'll start with Celebration because it's the shortest amount of time. Starting today and through the end of February, we have Celebration. It's always Stampin' Up's biggest, it's not a sale, but it's the biggest reward time of the year, I guess you'd call it. And it has been, I'm coming up on 30 years with Stampin' Up. So it's gotten a lot bigger and better than it used to be because way back in the day, you could buy a stamp for $1 if you spent 50. These days, if you spend 60, then there are sets in here that you can get completely free. There's paper, there's kits, and over the course of the next several days, I will try to show you some of it. So there's stamps, there's folders, there's ribbon, there's embellishments, there's papers, and then there's a couple of things if you spend $120 that you can pick for free too. Those mostly include dies, I think. I don't have any of those yet. I've been stocking up, like here's a bundle, stocking up on the stuff that I need for my classes, and those of you that are in Card Club are going to get free paper, so I've been stocking up on that paper as well. Then you can also join my team. So that's back here. There's a couple of options. Option 1 is that you get 2 marker sets and a stamp set that's only available through this offer. That's $91 of stuff that you can add. Or option 2 is you can pick whatever you want and $30 when you add it to your starter kit. The girls that are in my team, or guys are welcome to join. Right now it's all girls. They get all of my video tutorial classes free. They get like the videos for Card Club free. Then with my Try It class, they actually get the packet for that free of charge. So I have pre-made a few of those, not a ton, because there's nothing I hate worse than cutting too many. So I'd rather run out, sorry, than make too many and have them left. So that's what you get from me. So that's Celebration. Then we have online exclusives, which there is no print because as the name suggests, it's just online. So this is a very rough copy of what I will be sending to those of you in Card Club and to those of you that are in the Try It class. You will get one of these mailed to you. I can't mail it, email it. Not mailed, emailed to you on the 7th. At some point during the day, it might not be right away because we have to wait till the stuff's live to send it, and I haven't finished working on this, but there are, and this is on scrap paper, and you can see it's got Try It class measurements in it as well, but there's a bunch of stuff in here. And if you're on my email list, there will be a little place where you can click. Now, if you want this and you're desperate, I'm going to try to put it on my website, but it doesn't always work. Sometimes adding a PDF thing to my website doesn't work. I will try to add it in an email if I can. Again, I'm not going to promise that. But if you're in Card Club or you signed up for the Try It class, you will get one of these. Then the biggest thing is the mini catalog. I love this catalog. And now I can open it and show it to you. So let's take a look first at the Storybook Moments. After I film this, I am going to do a quick walkthrough of this and the online exclusives and Celebration because I was sick for so much of November and into December, and then I got far behind. I don't have nearly as many samples as I would normally when I do a catalog walkthrough, and then I take the last 2 weeks of the year off. And back in the day, I might have been like, you need to work. Well, for one, we didn't have any days where we really didn't do anything. So I would have had to work at night. But I've learned that I need my time off or else my creativity suffers. So I will walk through this with you and point some things out. There won't be nearly as many samples as I have sometimes. But Storybook Moments, I did just post this card. And I always feel like I've done way more than this than I have because I have done the 10 projects for Try It class. So that was a lot of creative energy and time to create those, but I can't show them to you because it's for the class. But if you go watch this video, you will see that I am doing a free online class, or there's other options too if you don't want the free option. With the Storybook Moments suite. So if you purchase the suite, because it's $155, I think, it has 2 stamp sets, it has 2 things of paper, This is what I couldn't show you. It has ribbon embellishments. So here's the 2 papers, the 2 bundles, and it's $155. So at $155, you get host rewards from Stampin' Up. You would get at least 2, or you could bump it up a little bit because at 160 times 3, you need 180 to get 3 celebration items. Then I have bonus thank you gifts if you purchase the 6th and 7th, and then I have my regular thank you gifts for January. So you're going to get a whole lot besides the free class if you purchase this suite. So you can go watch this. If you sign up for the free class and you've purchased the suite on the 7th or 8th, then you're going to get the supplies to make the box, and you can go watch this box video. I posted it in December. So that is the free class. Now we're going to do Card Club for January. Oh, look at that. I just turned right to it. I haven't looked at this catalog very much. So this is called Floral Delight. Today's card is very loosely based on this here. So you can kind of see how I switched it up. But in Card Club, I do a monthly card club. It is a subscription service, so it's hosted through PayPal subscriptions. You don't have to have a PayPal account. But if you go there and sign up, then every month they just auto bill you, and they keep track of all of that. You can always pause, you can cancel. Every 6 months you get a loyalty gift, and then I'm gonna say 99% of the time, because even this December, sometimes my Decembers are weird, this past one wasn't, but you get a half a pack of paper, a full spool of ribbon, a full package of embellishments, then you can add on other stuff, and we make 6 projects together. There's 3 designs, so you get the stuff for 2 of each, including the envelopes. So let's take a look at the first project. The first project is always public, so you can all see what we're doing first. So this month they are getting the Daffodil Delight. Yes, was that the color? Daffodil Delight satin ribbon. It's a thin, really pretty ribbon. Then they're getting the tiny bee trinkets, so they get that full packet. And then they are also getting a half a pack, and it's always cut this way if it's a 12 by 12. And this has my Try It class stuff in it. When I have 2 things that I'm trying to do at the same time, I kind of get. And Try It class goes out before club. So here is the beautiful paper. And, we have about 10 inches of snow out my front door. In fact, I can't go out the front door. My husband went out when he went to work this morning, went out the garage and said, don't go out the front door until he gets home and shovels it. And I have no desire to go out and shovel it. But here's the paper. So it is very spring. It has all this forsythia, which if you live in the Midwest where I do, once that snow goes and the first signs of spring, once that yellow starts popping up, it's coming. Look at how fun that is. So they'll get a half a packet of this. And then when their packets come, everything that needs to be die cut or run through a folder is already done for them. They can add on the bundle. And this month they can add on Delightful Wishes, which is not $60, but because I will have other stuff that I'm ordering, if they add on the bundle, they can pick a celebration choice. And we also have a bonus bundle, which I'll do the video for that in a couple of days. And if they add that, they can get another celebration choice. And again, it's not $60, but my limits for this are a little bit lower. So they add this on catalog cost or online cost. There's no shipping or handling or tax. I pick all of that up. And then their packet comes, and it has, I have too much stuff on my desk, everything already cut if it needs to be die cut. And there is a little caveat with that, and you'll see it in a moment. If you're going to stamp something and then it can be die cut and you don't have the dies, then you'll have to stamp it and cut it out, because obviously we can't send stamped images. So it kind of, oh, my cat was up on the table. There's cat hair. I can't stamp first and die cut it, so you'll have to die cut it that way. But this is the first card. So our card is going to be white based. I love these bright springy colors out of this pack. So my goal of the card club is that they learn something every month, or we just kind of tweak something, or that they don't just stamp, but there's something fun. So then in this one, I have also die cut from some gold foil, the arches, and these are an online exclusive. So they're not part of the everyday arches, but you can get those with your celebration orders. I did it out of gold foil, and then this is the wood paper. I think that's what it's called. And those are going to go on like this. Then out of your packet, you are going to need to cut this piece of gingham. I love some gingham. It's always happy. This side works too. So if you'd rather use the floral, you could. You could go this way. It doesn't have to be the gingham. I just think this looks bright and fresh and oh so not snowy. I think you have that. And then I have die cut. And you know, we're not going to tell my husband that I added the gold. Those of you, I can't talk, that are in Card Club got your thing an email earlier and it had a picture, and I told you I might tweak it because I made the card, and then sometimes when I go back and look at them before I film, I change it. And it really just needed that extra gold underneath. But we're not going to tell my husband that it didn't have to have the gold because he die cuts for me. So that's an extra die cut that you're all getting. And then we're going to have, this is out of pecan. And then this little piece here, this is one of the dies that is in the set. And I did it out of the vellum. That is part of the suite. It's not part of Card Club. So when you place an order, you might want to add it. Look, it has the blue in that as well, the blue gingham. And then this is the piece I've cut the little banner out with. And then this one here, I did this card right before Christmas. And I've had several people ask where I got that paper, and that's where it came from. It's a vellum. So it's really pretty. You can go watch that video if you missed it over the holidays. And then you'll have this piece of white to do your stamping on. So it goes together pretty quick. I'm going to stamp my flowers and lemon lolly. And it's a two-step. So I'm going to do the lemon lolly in the solid. The lemon lolly looks like, if you've been around Stampin' Up! For as long as I have, it looks a little bit barely banana. It's barely banana with a little pop more of happiness. Then stamp your envelope with these stamps too. So stamp that. See, it's a little brighter. Barely Banana wasn't quite that bright, but it does remind me of that color. And then I'm going to do the two-step. And I just put that stamp pad in my water dish because, you know, I have too much stuff on my desk, like I said. So this one is the two-step that goes over the top. This one right here, see this has got like it's just two. So that is going to go over the just two part of this. So line up the two that's right there. It's a little blossom. The rest are all kind of full flowers. And then just kind of angle it so it looks like they're all over yellow. It does not have to be perfect. In fact, if you're doing more than one of these on a card, I think it's better that they're not all perfect because then they all look like different flowers. So you can see how I got that. And then let's take, I'm going to do all my stamping first. I did not do all my stamping first the first time I did this card because I didn't know what it was going to look like. I'm going to use my pecan marker because this stamp set, I left it out to show you and now I've moved it. It's my favorite dies and they will be on one of the cards. It's this right here. It says wishing. It may be in gold too. I may do lots of gold foil. So it does the wishing in that. It does the wishing that will cut this out. So we may do one of those as well. But this again is one where you would have to cut your own out or just stamp this and hand trim around it. But you can say it says wishing. So it says wishing you were here, wishing you all the best, wishing you a happy birthday, wishing you lots of love, and wishing you well. Well, I'm not going to, we can only do wishing on one card because we can't cut that many dies. So I wanted it to say happy birthday because I know that is what you all tell me the cards you use the most of. So I don't want it to say wishing you a happy birthday. I just want happy birthday. So I'm just going to use my marker. You could also use your stamp pad. You just have to be a little careful. And I am only going to ink happy birthday, not UA. UA is not getting inked. So just pull this on here. And I partly wanted to show you these markers because remember you can join my team and get free ones. So put this on here and then I'm going to huff on it, which is just blowing some hot air. Super easy to get this straight because you just line it up here with some of the ginghams. Make sure not to rock it and then pull that up. And now we just have birthday. So we've taken the wishing you a happy birthday and just changed it to happy birthday. And then we are going to take our white wood piece. Now when you stamp on this, it can have a little bit of a, I don't know what you'd call it. It may have a little bit of the print in it, but that's okay. And here's my pad that's all wet. Because I literally laid it in the water. Wipe my hand on my pants. But let's not tell anybody it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I am dressed on top, but I still have my pajama bottoms on. Who else does that? So I'm just going to add a couple of leaves. And like I said, because this is the wood press, you can see the wood coming through. So you see what I mean? It's not a solid image, but it still looks pretty. It looks rustic. It looks like it's outside. I'm going to add 3 on this one. The other one I just added 2 because I added them after it was kind of glued together. Sometimes I remake the cards a couple of times before I get where I liked. I don't have time this time, so I made it, and I thought that what I want to, I did pull off. This is pretty impressive to pull off the whole arch so I could stick that gold piece underneath it. Now this, I think, is supposed to be a flower center. This is Pool Party. I'm just using it for some spritz of color. I'm just going to add this on here. So there's a little bit of interest behind there. You don't always have to use the stamps for what they were designed for. That's all the stamping. Now, if you didn't get the stamp set, you could use any flowers, because I know you all have flowers, right? So just put other flowers over the top, because they don't have to have the stamp set every month. But if you got the stamps and didn't get the dies, then cut these out. If you got the dies, they're fabulous, because I'm going to put this on here like this, and then it cuts them all out individually. I don't want to send this whole paper through my die cut machine. So let me run these through my die cut machine. So they're here. I'm going to leave them kind of like that until we get them all stuck on here. So I'm going to take my ribbon. And it's tiny ribbon, so I'm going to make a tiny bow. Probably don't need it that far over. I'm just going to tie a bow. So I've got the bow, and then I want it to be little. So keep pulling it and pulling it tight, which every time you pull it tight, it gets a little bit bigger. So then just make it a little bit smaller. And then kind of pull it tight again. So that's, I don't want the bow to overwhelm my flowers. So I have this ready. Then I'm going to take my glue. I don't know. I just filmed something and I used this glue. I filmed the strawberry card. I don't know where my fine tip glue is. I much prefer it, but I don't see it. So we're going to work with this again. Whoops. See, one of the reasons I don't like it, it can be very unpredictable. So I don't know how that happened. I'm going to put this on here, and then I'm going to clean that up, and I will come back. Thankfully, that's all I need that for, and that will remind me, I think that one, there's 3 of them. If you watch that video, I have 3 sitting here. I'm not quite sure which were the 2 that were good, and I knew that there was one that needed to either be thrown out or I can mark it, so I just used the bottom way. On the other card, I also used glue on this, but I'm not opening that again, especially over the top of this. I'm going to add just a tiny bit of adhesive. Whoops. A bit of adhesive right there. I have never seen the glue do that before. It's worse than it was the first, now I remember. It was around Thanksgiving and it did that, but now it's on my hands. I'm going to cover it up with some of these. So you can see how these dies work, and they just separate all the flowers. And then I did add some of these with dimensionals. But this time there's glue on there, so we're just going to go with the glue. So you can do either. Cover up where it kind of smeared a little bit right there. And then these right here, there's probably enough glue to hold them on as well. Just kind of squished out everywhere. This one I can take a tiny piece of the edge. It's a pretty little, it's the bud. It was the one that we used to line up. And let's put it right here. Give that just a second to kind of dry. We'll go ahead and stick this on here. So if you're interested in my card club, just go over to my website. There's always a link almost on every blog post that will send you to the correct page. And you have till the 10th of every month to subscribe. And so on my emails, I start reminding everybody. Let's see, am I going to be able to fold this over? I'm going to do it this way. So this is, the arches are graduated. So this is the size just up. I need to get some right here to hold that ribbon on since I'm going to do it upside down way. Grab this, do this side first. And then pull this one over here, and I've got glue stuck on my fingers. Okay, now this is going to go on here. I'm going to take this little strip here, and because it's vellum, you will be able to see the adhesive through, so it's just the right amount, right width, that you can just fill the whole thing up. Just be careful when you lay it down because you don't have to try to pull it up, so lay it kind of, make sure it's straight, which is, again, fairly easy to do because I'm just going to line it up along the bottom of that white panel. And then over to here, and then let's grab these two. Because that glue is stuck to my fingers. Everything I touch is sticking to my fingers. I'm just going to throw that glue right in the trash now. I don't know what happened to it. Have you guys ever had that happen before? It's like it's melted, but it's not. It is most certainly not warm enough in here to melt. So I'm going to take these and I'm going to just kind of trap these down underneath. That's one good thing about the glue being on your hand. You can use it as a picky up tool. And then remember I said this is kind of a flower center. I'm just going to go back and take my pecan pie marker because remember you can get 2 sets of those free if you join my team. But I'm just going to take if you haven't bought markers for a while, the tip over the last couple of years is a lot bigger. So I'm just going to take it and just dot down. And just give a couple of centers to these. You have to pay attention to where the kind of the flower centers would be. You don't want them to be off on the edge. And then I'm going to take the other end, and I do this all the time with blends. Lost the word there for a second. But you can do it with your marker. It's not as, there isn't as much ink coming out of this as there is on a blend because the tip isn't as big. So you don't get quite as much, but on a card like this, it's okay. I just want a little bit of speckle. It will also help cover up anything where I got glue. Camouflage it. It's a much finer mist than what you get with the blend. You see that? And then the final touch, and the reason I added the gold, are these tiny bee trinkets. So I know some of you are thinking, well, I got the bees that were out a couple of years ago. These are about half the size. I don't have, maybe I have some. I should see if I can find them. But I have seen other people post them. They're called tiny bees. They are tiny bees. I think the other one are called trinkets. Oh, bother. Which one of these is the one that doesn't work? See, I need my fine tip glue. I have no idea where it is. There we go. This is, and I'm going to put 3. So let's do 1 down here by the happy birthday. And then let's do 2 up here. Not where I really necessarily want them, but to cover up a little bit of that glue. Because there's some glue right there. And I'll do the other one here. Now when you add them, because we're adding 3, you could add more if you want. 1 doesn't, because they're so tiny, 1 doesn't really show up that well. Here, I just used this on my other video. It does help to have this little gooby thing, but you want them all flying a different direction. You don't want them all going the same way, because then it looks like they're swarming. We don't want some swarming bees. We want some nice spring bees. If you follow me, you know I had a couple of, well, it was yellow jacket incidents. I mean, I have an EpiPen last summer. So I don't want any kind of swarming bees. So I have one going this way, one going that way, and then we'll have that one going straight up. Okay, when this is dry, I will go back and add a tiny bit of adhesive underneath that because there was a little bit much glue. Here, this one's better. It didn't have a glue explosion. So if you're interested in joining my card club, then head to my website. Make sure you're on my email list, and then you'll always get it. If you are in card club, you can go ahead and start adding your add-ons. Make sure you check out my catalog kickoff specials and go watch the catalog walkthrough video. Have a great one. Bye.